Hello, everyone. All right, so the Lamy 2000 is a favourite pen of a lot of people, and it can be a bit divisive. So some people don't like it because they find that the sweet spot when you're trying to do some writing is pretty finicky. Sometimes you can't find it too easily. Yeah, it's been a problem for me. I got a broad Lamy 2000 nib originally, and I found that I just couldn't find the best writing spot. It wasn't comfortable for me. So what I did was I got the micro mesh pads out. I gave it a bit of a treatment, and we could say that I've turned it into a slightly right-footed oblique. It's just kind of chamfered out the corner, just a little bit. But yeah, it does mean that I've only got the one nib, and it's a bit massacred by me. It's very personalized to me. A couple of nibs came up for cheap on not AliExpress, on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. So there was a double broad, there was a few double broads, there was a fine. I think now there's still an oblique medium still for sale, quite cheap. And I thought, you know what? These never go so cheaply. I think one of them was 50 Australian dollars. So I bought the double broad and I bought one of the fines. And then I ended up with a situation where I've got two fairly low-cost nibs, nib that I like, but only one pen. Frustrating. Yeah, it is pretty frustrating swapping out the nibs. So I went online again, and sure enough, Lamy Australia sells spare parts. And when you do the math, all of the bits that they sell, when you exclude the nib, it ends up being a bargain. Right. Was a little bit fishy. There seemed to be a couple of things in there that didn't seem to be included, but I thought, nah, it'll arrive and everything will be good. And so what was it? There was the barrel. And you think the barrel, what's in that? You think maybe just that little macrolon section. Well, no, they include in the barrel the piston knob, the piston mechanism, including the screw and that little rubber end point on the piston, and also the grip section. Right, fantastic. Anything missing there? Is there any special little piece in there that you know? Maybe the thing that holds the cap on, little ring, little metal clip. Anyway, let's get back to it. Then there was the cap. So that was pretty easy. The cap fits fine. It's just the cap. You bought the cap. No worries. I thought, okay, so missing there is the feed. So that was all that was left. So I ordered the feed. And I'm looking at it saying, it's not just the feed, it's the feed and wedge. That was new to me. Again, I think there's something missing there. What about that rubber O-ring that you need to fix the feed in the grip section and stop it from falling backwards when you assemble the whole thing? Surely they're going to include that. I mean, it's a 2-cent thing, and if they're including, I don't know, they just wouldn't skimp on an O-ring. It'd be crazy. Today, I got all the bits, and actually I bought 2 sets of all the bits. So I had 2 caps, 2 barrels, and 2 feed with wedge. And you know what? Didn't include O-rings, and it didn't include that clip that stops the cap from falling off. And it clicks nicely in place. Pretty annoying, especially given that I couldn't find a way to buy those things separately on the Lamy website. Yeah, got a bit annoyed. But you know what? Finally worked out how to get that wedge working, and it seems to keep the feed in the grip section and actually seems to have increased the ink flow. Whew, so there's one left. Haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it with you guys. Let's see how it goes. Wish me luck. Great. So here we are. So let's first have a look at how the nib arrives. So, like I said, I got this straight off Amazon. And yeah, it's just the standard little Lamy box, this time with this sort of red on the side. I've not seen that before. Pretty dinky little nib there, isn't it? That's the that's got to be the broad. And in fact, that isn't the one that I've just bought. This is the one that I've just swapped out from my original Lamy 2000 pen. So let's have a look. Can you see that? It should just say B, and it should also have that slightly sanded back right foot. Can we see that? I can't really from here, but yeah, I reckon you probably can. Let's flip it over. Here we go. Can you see that? Let's focus. Yeah. All right. So the left side there is the right-hand side when you flip it over, and I think you'll agree that it's a little bit, yeah, less angular on that side than on the left foot. So yeah, this one is very nice for me. It works great. Not so much for someone who's a right-hander or, writes the normal way. Anyway, that's the nib. And that's the nib that we're going to be replacing into one of the new custom components. So here we are. We've got the bags. Let's just zoom back. Yeah. So I had plenty of bags, so these might actually not be the bag that they came in, but it's not fraudulent or anything like that. They're legitimate Lamy Australia spare parts. There's the cap. There is the barrel with the piston knob and the stainless steel grip section. And then finally, we have the feed with this wedge. You can see the wedge there. Oh, man. Yeah, you can see that plastic part there just poking out the top, this bit here, that. So that comes out, of course, it's just a little piece of plastic. Yeah, it's fiddly, and I've not seen it before in this pen, so a bit unusual. Anyway, no matter. So what are we doing now? Well, let's have a look at the what we got. I now have two assembled Lamy 2000s. There's this one here. Let's just get the parts for now. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So this one has a clip. Right. So this is my double broad. It's the new nib. Double broad, and if you look there, right here, there you can see that little metal bit there. And when you get the cap, and you place the cap over the pen, and you push, you get this incredible sound. I absolutely love that. That's a really nice part of the pen. It's one of the favorite bits. Listen again. Woo, fantastic. All right. I'm not going to show you the O-ring. That would mean taking it all apart. But yeah, you can see there's definitely a metal clip in there that is not in this one. So what's going on? Well, this is the genuine parts from one of those pens put back together, but it doesn't have that little metal bit in between. So when you go to put the cap on, it slips on quite nicely and quite securely, but you don't get that click that you do with the original one with that nice metal clip. But you know what? The cap still sits secure, sits okay, and for now, I don't really mind. I mean, for now, let's just put the thing together because I've got this broad nib that I want to get back into a pen, and I think it's going to be fun doing it together. All right, so put those other pens away. How do we do this? Well, we get the feed. This is going to be a bit fiddly. So let's see. Tell you what, I can't really see very well. My glasses are not these ones. Why don't I assemble this and get it to the point where it's useful for you guys, and then we can rejoin this discussion. Okay, so you know what? I got that nib onto the feed, and that wedge is inside the little orifice in there. And I can now push that down, and it sits in that top channel, right? And I reckon I am going to be able to slot that all the way into the grip section. I reckon that is actually going to fit. Let's see how close. It's getting that alignment bang on. That's the tricky bit. I think it's just like so. Yeah, we're in. Hey, look at that. Yep, couldn't see it. There we go. Look at that. Wonderful. All right, well, that's actually quite solidly inserted. I don't think it really needs the O-ring anymore. Fantastic. Here's the thing, though. We're going to be able to screw that into the barrel. Let's find out. First go. Is there anything weird there? Yeah, this little bit here. That's going to get pushed in, and I reckon we're a winner. That is screwing in, I hope. Yeah, that's going in nicely. So yeah, the clip's missing, as mentioned before. You can see the little hole there. But that whole thing, aside from the cap being press fit like that and not being, firmly in place, it's still intact. And that means that we can now fill this pen with ink by rotating the piston knob here. If you've never seen this happen, look at this. Look at that. How incredible is that? Tolerance on this thing just blows me away. You can't see it, can you? See the line there? Yeah, you can just see it under magnification, but only barely. That's incredible, hey? Yeah, it's pretty good. Open it up. There it is. All right. Let's get some Konpeki in this baby and see how it looks on the paper. It's going to be fun. It's my original pen. It's going to be fantastic. All right, so here we go. Right, that's the fine one. It's pretty wet. It's very nice. All right, that's that one. What's next? This one. All right, this is the one we just put together. So this is my old one. This is the... Oh, wow. See that, can you? Slight right foot oblique. Again. Right, that's the broad. That is the broad. Beautiful. And I tell you, when you see how broad that is, it really does put a bit of terror in your heart, doesn't it? Because, what do we got? The lucky last. The double broad. How broad is this? Squeak. Incredible, hey? Beautiful. Right, so well. I do all this combo. Look at that. It is so juicy. I love it. The best thing, though, it's juicy, but you know what? It's not that bad. Like, when I say bad, sorry, I mean, it's not that wet. It's just broad. Broad lines, but, it's 5 seconds or 7, 8, 9, something like that. Yeah, all right, whatever. It's a lot of ink. But it's not that bad. It's not that wet. You put a Pelican M1000 down or a Pelican even M800 with a broad, and you'd be writing 4 lines of text. And by the time you finish your 4th line, you put your finger over it, it's just gone everywhere. So, I mean, yeah, it's fine now, right? It's not that wet. It's not that wet. Definitely manageable. I love the squeak. I just absolutely love the... So good. All right. That's the video. I have now 3 Lamy 2000s. How lucky am I?